Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, May 2023. The month starts on the 4th or 5th of May with an eclipse in your 12th house, Sagittarius. And usually it does not directly affect you unless you have planets in Scorpio. And a lot of Sagittarius have sometimes Mercury or Venus in Scorpio. But for you to know if this eclipse directly affects you and can turn your life in a big way around, check out my transit calendar, personal transit calendar, where you're going to see if on the day of the eclipse, 4th or 5th, the eclipse is conjunct anything in your horoscope, then it's a big deal. Read what will happen. But otherwise, this eclipse affects your 12th house, which is kind of more the hidden, the subconscious. It can really kind of open a gate, because eclipses are caused by the north and south node of the moon, which are like psychic gates to the invisible worlds. And the 12th house is a psychic gate to the invisible world already, because it connects you with ancestors and so on. So you might feel quite intuitive around that a few days. But it also opens gates to the lower astral, not just the higher inspirational realms. So there might be a more inflow of unexplainable moods, unexplainable psychic feelings, premonitions or forebodings, and those might not be true at all either, especially if they're coming from the lower astral realms. So if you're feeling more worried around those days, it's a possibility when the 12th house is triggered, more worried, more sensitive, more anxious of some sort, is because these gates are open for a few days around the eclipse to the lower astral, the two lights. This time the moon is being eclipsed, so it's just less, let's say, it feels less comfortable, less clear, a bit more confused. So just be aware that these are possibilities. And sometimes the 12th house, though, on a positive level, how it can affect 12th house is a moksha house of releasing things. So is this eclipse. This eclipse is in Scorpio, which is a moksha sign of release, to release attachment to something. It's with the south node, which is the tail of the dragon. The south node is about letting go again, so it's triple letting go influence in the 12th house of endings and letting go. South node is about endings and letting go and detachment from the material. So this is extremely spiritual influence from you. It can allow you very easily to detach from something material you've been attached to. You've always, thought, oh, that's mine, or this or whatever. And Scorpio is like anything that is toxic, that is stagnant. Scorpio is like stagnant emotions, stagnant feelings that are locked in trauma that you can release, because this is a psychological house. You can have a big psychological purging or cleansing through this eclipse that you're being released from. You can be released, and you can cleanse or release some kind of a poisonous substance or addiction from your life, psychological, emotional, mental. All addictions are mental obsessions. The physical is very little in most of them. So this is because the moon is the mind. It's, the ultimate positive possibility from this eclipse is to be released from some obsessive thought patterns. And the 12th house is the house of mental health or unhealth. So for a little bit, for some of you might feel like you're a little bit getting a bit anxious or crazy, a little bit, your mental health is not so good around the eclipse. Just be aware it's a possibility because of this combination. But ultimately as well, some of you might have like a breakthrough with this eclipse to release something that has been keeping them hostage, or has been keeping them locked in their own prison, because 12th house rules prisons, especially psychological prisons. But it might be even an actual physical prison of some sort that you're released through this eclipse. Or that you, in worst case scenario, it can intensify any kind of addictive tendencies. But because it's with the south node and it's full moon, which is about illuminating, but of course the full moon is being eclipsed, so it's about losing your mind about something for a little bit, the worrying feelings, losing your mind. But ultimately, even that can lead to releasing the pent up feelings and emotions. Okay, not the easiest energy, but it's not directly, again, as I said, affecting your life, like your health, or it's going to turn your life around 180 degrees and tomorrow you're divorced, or something like that. It's more like a spiritual, psychological influence on you. Those of you who meditate, who have spiritual activities of any sort, this is a very powerful time if you want access to astral worlds or to other dimensions. You just have to be, again, careful, because it opens doors to lower and higher areas. And you can just make a list of what you want to release from your life and burn it. Well, with Scorpio, I don't know, something, destroy it in some way, but release it in some way as well, because this is very much such kind of influence of releasing the old. Well, the other big event is that Mercury is turning direct in your 6th house on the 14th of May, which means that actually for about 2 weeks of May, it's retrograde. So what does it mean? Some of you might be working on some work project that needs to be redone over, something that you've done, project that you've done before is brought back to you, had to be fixed, or you need to put more order and organization around you, and Mercury retrograde makes you put extra efforts in that. There can be some complications at your work situation or with a colleague on some work project where things are delayed, or your daily routines and plans don't go according to plan. They're disrupted because of something, but they start coming back to normal again after the 14th. And if you've been working hard behind the scenes on some work project, you start seeing the results of it when Mercury turns direct. Or if there was some complications and delays on some practical job you've been doing, again, you start seeing things go to normal. On a positive level, the Mercury retrograde period can indicate that some old job is coming back to you to be done, to be completed, to be fixed, or that you're getting in touch with someone from your past, like a colleague, for example. 6th house is also your health. So Mercury retrograde there can ask you to pay attention to your habits and health and to reconsider them. Again, this house of the 12th and the 6th house is very much about self-medicating, addictions, habits that are keeping us functioning, or that are keeping us self-sabotaging our functioning. And so you're re-examining some of those things. There might be important topics of conversation around that as well with Mercury retrograde there, and wondering, well, how can I improve my sciatica, or how can I improve my digestion because I'm feeling it sluggish or whatever. And you start reading up on such things, looking for alternative methods, trying out alternative supplements, or a different diagnosis, or a different doctor that can give you a different result, but sometimes you might be misdiagnosed when Mercury is retrograde, unless this is a second or third opinion, then it can go better. While if it's first opinion, there can be some complication or confusion there. And 6th house is also making, when Mercury is retrograde, they are asking you to be aware, to reconsider your diet, your health, maybe start replan, make a different plan for exercise or for lifestyle changes. And of course, because it's work, some of you might be thinking, am I in the right work position? There's some extra stresses around work. It's very rare that Mercury retrograde in the 6th house will bring a new job, or you leaving a job, unless there is some planets you have in Scorpio or Taurus that Mercury directly affects. For this, you need a personal horoscope with any of the readers on the website, or to check your personal transits. But usually it might be just something that you have to change or fix in your work environment and in your daily habits that you have to disrupt. So say if you always wake up at certain time, these are your daily habits, Mercury retrograde there can make you change that. You wake up a different time, or you kind of incorporate some different food, or some your habits or routines can be disrupted, or you might disrupt them, so you change something different. Or with your work as well, your daily routines at work might be disrupted in some way. The normal flow of your work might be disrupted, maybe because you have to work with the new software, or maybe there is some complications there with your software, or with some other aspect of your work. And because of that, it gets disrupted, like I'm about to get disrupted by my kids. Sorry about that. Just talking about that, and it's happening. But the other big event is that Jupiter is entering your sixth house. You see what an important the sixth house is there, and it's going to be there for a whole year. So it's going to bring a lot of understanding and knowledge about sixth house matters. So it can bring healing of some health issues for some of you. And Jupiter is you. Wherever Jupiter goes, you follow it. Till now, for a year, Jupiter was in your fifth house. Maybe a lot of you more in a positive party mode. But now it's time to enter into the mode of the disciple, of the student, the fourth house, to start working harder. And actually, you'd be willing, you'd want to immerse yourself in work. You might find a job, for example, when Jupiter enters your fifth house, not sixth house, not immediately, but in the next 1 year, you can find a job that feels great for you, that is the right fit for you. For example, if you've been on a maternity leave, Jupiter enters your sixth house. So sometime in the next year, you can find the job you love again. Or if you haven't worked, or if you're in the wrong job, Jupiter can help you find the right one that exhilarates you, that feels right for you, and that you're invested in, and the right type of service, even if you're not starting a job where you're getting paid or employment, because some people don't need to. You might find something that you give service that you feel very meaningful, and expand your service to others. Like I have a friend, she started cooking for homeless people, and now Jupiter is edging towards her sixth house, and she says, like, I was doing it once a month, but I want to start doing it and giving back to those in need, which is the sixth house, those the poor, whatever. You can be more generous with such people. And she says, like, I want to do a lot more of this. And she says, I also want to find a job that feels meaningful now again, something to be useful. And I said, don't worry, the moment Jupiter enters in Taurus, you as the Sagittarius rising, you'd find something. Plus Jupiter, if you're already in the right career, Jupiter can improve the circumstances, give you more work. If you have your own business, you can expand the business. You can make it grow. It can make you a little bit workaholic even, but you can get joy out of this work and job. Or if you have difficult circumstances around your work, Jupiter entering there can help improve them, hopefully, you know. I usually see that. If you have employees, Jupiter can increase the number of people you hire or you employ around the house or whatever. Or you can find employees that are very helpful, that are very knowledgeable. Also, Jupiter and the sixth house is about not just about work, but it's about pets. Some of you might have a pet. Some of you might feel joy about getting a cat or a dog. Others might find joy in helping others in need, I said. And the sixth house is the house of health and health routines. Jupiter can really make you passionate about cleaning, being organized, but also more hygienious, taking more care of your hygiene, maybe starting to brush your teeth more often, or getting passionate about supplements. Sixth house is anything to do about how to maintain your health, and Jupiter is knowledge. So you might come across the right knowledge and information about the health situation in your life, about getting more knowledge about an addiction, or more knowledge about health situation and health habits that are causing certain health issues about. And Jupiter illuminates, bring understanding, knowledge about such matters, hopefully healing as well. You can find a better doctor with Jupiter in the sixth house, better employees. If you're hiring someone to build house or to do something around your house, Jupiter helps you find the right help, the right people. These are all sixth house environments. Sometimes Jupiter can expand health issues. Because it's in the sixth house, it can make you more aware of certain health issues, because Jupiter is more of, but with this awareness, it makes you also more willing to invest your attention and your own energy, because you're Jupiter, and to find solutions about that. So Jupiter naturally rules you, so somehow you can invest more of a focus, more of your willpower to solve some health issues. And by the time Jupiter moves out of your 6th house, it might be, you know, a known issue for you. And it's not only a health issue, it's health issue created by lifestyle choices and habits as well that you can resolve. There you go. This is how I think Jupiter in the 6th house will affect you. The eclipse as well. I think one thing that will help you this month, I mean, the 12th house, the 6th house, they're like topics that are a bit bleh. You know, no one enjoys them so much. It's not exuberance, happiness, love. It's the things that have to be done, the difficult things, but we need help with them too. Mars will enter your 9th house on the 20th of May. So that's a little bit of a good news for Sagittarius. And by the way, till the middle of May, Jupiter is in your 5th house, still protecting you, still good for falling in love till the middle of May. Still good for pregnancies if you want, or still good for having luck in games of chance and luck, or still good for having fun and enjoying yourself and romance. Then moves into the 6th house. But Mars enters your 9th house for a month and a half, which means it will make a trine aspect to Sagittarius from the 20th of May till the end of June. So you would be more energetic after the 20th of May. You can feel more that your actions flow. You can feel very passionate about what you believe and willing to fight for what you believe and going after the things you want, and there won't be blockages or obstacles. It's physically more invigorating as well. Mars trining you. Any physical activities tend to go well as well. Any initiatives of any sorts tend to be going also well. So thank you so much, Sagittarius. I think you'll just become more practical now that Jupiter that rules you enters your 6th house. Put more order in your life, organize yourself a little bit better, maybe a bit more, pull yourself back a little bit, put your house in order, as they say. Focus on work, on service, practicality, and these will be sources of joy for you in taking care of your health. Thank you.